Hey, it's Latasha and Harrison here. From the courtroom to the boardroom to church to your home to your bedroom. We're going to discuss some of the most controversial issues here. Now, every day you wear a mask, you dress the part, you look the part. You have to fit into a mold every single day. But here you can be yourself. You can let your hair down and be free to ask those questions regarding career, your marriage, your salvation, religion, whatever it is. We're going to discuss it. So welcome to a place where you're safe and you can just about ask anything you want and we'll go deep. So welcome to the Deep Experience. Take care and I'll see you soon. Hello there.
Hello, happy Monday.
Yes, sir. Happy Monday to you as well. It is so great to have you.
Absolutely. Thank God. I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
One thing I can say about that, one thing that me and you have in common today is that we have the gift of life. That's first base. And after that, second base, everything is every day. So right now we just sharing the gift of life. I'm happy. I'm okay.
Absolutely. I'm inclined to agree. We just thank God for just the breath of life and just being able to have this time to, get together and really enjoy this conversation. Again, thank you for just taking time out of your busy life to give me a few minutes of your time. I just want to introduce everyone to my special guest. I have Guy Powell, who is a mental health specialist or a mental health therapist. He has over 22 years of experience in the field of mental health, and I'm going to allow him to delve into his background a little bit. But the topic of our discussion tonight, or our conversation, is going to be, where are the missing fathers? And so with that being said, Mr. Powell, so go ahead and say what you feel for real, our listeners, a little bit about your background, where you're originally from, and we'll let you do that first, and then we'll get into the other question.
Okay. Thank you for having me. My schedule is really not that busy because my schedule and my steps are ordered by God, the Lord Jesus Christ. So I'm just glad, to be here to share my life with people because it's all about healing. So a little bit about myself. Grew up, I'm from a place called Baltimore, Maryland. Ooh, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's tough here. Really tough. So I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up here all my life. I'm bi-coastal with my family. Moved from here in 1994. So I'm either here or I'm in California and Los Angeles. So I'm back and forth. Grew up streets of Baltimore. Had praying parents. Thank God. I am an African-American male. And it's tough. I meet a lot of challenges in all my life. I'm 47 years old, thank God, with 3 children. So, where I'm at now, I started out very young. I was caught up in the street selling drugs. Never really went to jail, prison, but thank God, God had enough grace on me not to actually get caught from selling drugs. My mother was intercessory prayer, and she was praying over me and my brothers. But at 17, I got in some trouble. And in the state of Maryland, they don't have a self-defense law. So I got in some trouble with these guys that jumped on me, and I defended myself, and I caught a murder charge, actually. And God got me out of it. Never went to prison, nothing like that. But I told God at that time, I was 17 years old, and this was like 1991. I said, Lord, if you can get me out of this, I will do what you're supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do, and I would try to serve you, and I would pay you back. I know I can never pay you back, but I'm going to die trying. So I finished school, high school, got 3 degrees, and my major was social work. So
Mm.
I've been working in social work now for 22 years. My background worked in residential treatment centers. I worked in therapeutic group homes. I worked with foster care. And I'm also did therapy. I do couples, marital counseling and therapy. I do family, individual. So I've been doing this for 22 years. Now, what I found in doing this, and I look at one time I saw Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he once said that women typically, not all women, but women typically have they internalize. I'm sorry, they verbalize. Males, however, internalize, and sometimes the female may think we're not listening or not like that, but we internalize. We hold a lot of things in, and we have this thing called a socialization process. And I've noticed that in my practice, a lot of males are taught as soon as they are born to do what? Don't say anything, keep everything in, and you build up all these type of emotions and stuff like that. And when you don't have the father, now the father and the mother, the acronym I always tell everybody, family, that acronym FAMILY simply means father and mother. I love you. That is from the offspring. When you remove the father, the head, from the household, or he is not present emotionally or physically, then you don't have that male figure to teach the young offspring male how to verbalize. You don't have that model of how to be vulnerable and be comfortable in being and expressing your vulnerability. And so that's where I'm at right now. Just
Oh,
trying to help,
wow.
trying to heal.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
You said a mouthful with that because you actually covered the question I was going to ask. How did this affect your upbringing? Because you went into, growing up in Baltimore. And as I don't know if you know, I was raised a military brat, but most of my stable, I would say the longest place I've ever been was Bronx, New York.
Okay,
I lived in Alexandria, Virginia. I actually went to Hayfield High School for a short time,
okay.
and I experienced, DMV just a little bit, but so I can understand it's similar, that urban kind of
Yeah,
lifestyle
yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
Um, but what I do want to add to that, because you're speaking about, fathers and how that affects the home.
yeah.
Did you grow up with both parents
Oh,
in the
that's
home?
that's a great question. Great question. Okay, so no, I would say my parents got divorced in 1989, which was a crisis for me. But prior to that, they were always bickering and arguments and fighting and all of that stuff. But in 1989, I was 15 years old, and they left. However, although they broke up, my father was still loved his children. And so he still, it's not like he was absent. He was definitely there. He would definitely come see us. I would sometimes live with him. I was definitely involved and he was involved as well. So thank God for that.
Yes, and I'm glad you answered that because it actually sets the tone because it's not like you did not have your father in your life or that influence of, a positive male role model there. So that works in tying into what we're going to discuss. So, my second question for you, Guy, is at what time in your life did you decide you wanted to become a mental health therapist?
Oh, great. So it was funny. I was actually when at 18 when I started going to school, as I alluded to earlier, got in a little trouble when I was 18 and I started going to community college. I got the first degree. I was going for psychology, but I met a childhood friend and ran into her on the campus and she was like, "You ever heard of social work?" And I was like, "Social work? What is that?" So she explained to me and I switched my major. I went to a HBCU here in Baltimore. It's called Coppin State University. Yeah, yeah, big ups, big ups. So so in that capacity, when I went there, I was learning a little bit more about our history, the Black diaspora, and then I started to say, you know what? When I was out there selling drugs to the community, I was a taker. And as I started to elevate and I started to get really involved in spirituality into, the Lord Jesus Christ and really started getting my personal relationship, God
Yes.
called me and said, "This is what your calling is. This is what you need to do." And so my calling, I was rescued at 7, but by the time around 17, 18 years old, that's when God told me, now you need to go out and then you need to to hit them, and not so much about preaching the gospel, so much like that, but I can be
Yes.
someone's Bible by example, and I can just go out there and do healing. And I am the light, the world, salt, the earth, and so because of who's in me and live within me, I just live in the world, not of the world, and so that's when I decided to do around 18, I believe 19, a very young age. That's when I decided to really, this is my calling. I'm walking in my calling right now and in my purpose. And it feels, I can't even explain how I feel.
Let me say this. I'm telling you, that just stirs my heart because one of the things I'm like, I think we have similar mindsets in a sense, because everyone thinks it's so much about going out preaching the gospel, and
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute, it's not just, listen, we apply the word of God, we know the word of God.
Exactly.
But when he sends us out into the world, it's a different, we're all anointed with different giftings and calls on our life. So you can't reach everyone the same way.
Right.
But this is the healing through your experience, and as well as your, what you went and you studied for.
Yeah.
So you have the life application as well as the education behind it. So you are, yes, he is certified and qualified to go forth, but also with that anointing. So that's like that double portion on it. So it just makes it even greater.
Yes. Thank God.
So thank you for that. Want to ask as well, as a mental health specialist / therapist, I say, with over 22 years of experience, what are some of the common trends that you see?
Well, one common trend, and are we speaking about, okay, I can give you two parts. One part, the common trend I see is as far as the diagnostic perspective, that is disproportionately labeled in terms of African American males. A lot of them are labeled with mood dysregulation, like mood disorder, in terms of, and also it's a diagnosis, ADHD, attention hyperactive disorder.
Please talk about that. Yes, sir. Get into that.
God, that is a over label of our black boys.
Yes.
Oh, he's too hyper. We can't handle him. Like, well, once you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't know how to handle him, but you'll blame the victim, which is the young males, that you can't handle them. Okay, so that's an over label in that, as far as diagnostic perspective. And what they would do, they would give them this medicine. A lot of times, the medicine is just drugging them up, and that's been research and findings. And right now, there's a lot of groups out there that's advocating against that. Don't be so quick to pull the trigger on labeling this boy. You know what I mean? So that's one. A lot of common trends I see, a lot of depression in males and females. And a lot of times the difference, what I see, how depression, it shows in many ways. Sometimes the eating habits, you eat too much, eat too less. A lot of times, a lot of males are thought to be angry, but actually underneath of that, they are depressed, and it plays itself out through anger, but they really are depressed. So I see a lot of that's the commonalities I see in a lot of trends that come into therapy. And one more thing, I often see, again, and that's the reason, that was the impetus of my work when I'm doing Where the Missing Father, is that because of the socialization process that I alluded to earlier, that a lot of males do not like therapy. They will not come to therapy. They were like, and as African Americans, a lot of times we have a stigma still to this day. We've gotten better over the time, but we stigmatize therapy. Oh, I'm not crazy, But that, and then in addition to that, a lot of males like, I don't want to go tell another woman or another male my problems. I'm okay, and I don't feel like going to therapy. It doesn't work. So a lot of males, they don't like to come to therapy. A lot of times they are scared again to be vulnerable, to really become bare naked in the sense of, I don't want to show my stuff. I'm okay. I'm a hide behind this anger. I'm a hide behind this macho and this egoism. I'm a hide behind that. And so a lot of times I work with a lot of females, and I ask sometimes, especially in the marital counseling. Hey, can you bring your husband in? Hey, can you bring, if I'm working with single parents, single mothers, hey, where's the father? And they know where to be found, or they just straight up, I'm not coming. So.
And and I'm glad you touched on that because it is so true. I mean, it's the Black community, males and females collectively, but because that's kind of like what we're taught, kind of to, well, you don't need any professional help,
Yeah.
just go to
Let's
church,
go to church.
just
That's it.
pray.
Right. And it go
Yeah,
away.
pray. And it's like, okay, we know the Lord is with us and we can seek his face and, lay it on the altar. But at the end of the day, you need the professionals too. You
Yeah.
need to be able to have that conversation. So now I think you pretty much, I mean, we're doing really well. I think you're going into the next question because you stated that most African American males are the biggest, I would say, that's the biggest area where you'll see they don't want to come to seek counseling. So, do you believe, going into this next question, it has a lot to do with the father not being in the home, or do you think that's just strictly just ego?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, because I would like seeing the thing that comes first is the part where the male just doesn't come because of the ego.
Okay.
Again, we are first taught at 1, 2, 3 years old, males. And I say we, as males, we run, we get our new bike, we fall on the ground. Ouch! I'm crying. Look, we are taught, be quiet, boy. Get up. You okay? Stop crying. Stop that noise. From right then, we are taught to express. We are taught that we are not allowed to be vulnerable. We are taught to put on a shield and on a mask that and hide your feelings from that point. And as we go forward, we now, when the male is not in the home, the father's not in the home. Now there's no male or father that's there to kind of teach us to unlearn that foolish behavior and that misguided thought and what we were taught from the larger society.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's like, okay, all right, this is what we have to learn from is the telling lies. They call it television or the media. You know what I'm saying? That gives you this illusion, And then now what has been done to males is that we are emasculated. And when I was coming up, that was the James, that was the George Jeffersons, and that was good times when you had the father there, James Evans, and there was that strong black male, strong black role model. Now, again, my hope is to, I don't care what ethnic background you are, I'm just talking about fathers and males population, period. That's two different worlds out here. There's two different populations. You got male and then you got female. I'm just speaking to the males that happen to be fathers, is that please, and anybody that's listening to this, any male that's out here, and I'm letting you know right now, please, all males, this is going out to you, listen very carefully. Boys do what they want to do, and men do what they have to do. That's the difference. And so if you've been a boy and you've been doing what you want to do because it's a man's sin, see, the woman has been thrust in an unnatural position when she has to raise her children. That's her unnatural position by herself. And so it's because a man's sin when he begins to leave because he's a boy and he wants to then rely on his emotion. He hasn't been taught. He's been misguided and he wants to do what he wants to do. He wants to run to this and be a womanizer. He makes the one to run in the street. But one thing that I said that I know when I started this journey 1 year ago, I said, you know what? One thing, boy, since you want to be a boy and act like a boy, one thing that I know, once you womanize and running around, drugging, doing everything and not taking care of your children, one thing I do know, you will pay your cell phone bill. And if I know you pay your cell phone bill, one day you may just stumble across one of my videos and let God penetrate your heart and get to what you need to do so you become from a boy and rise up and become a man and do what you have to do and resume your rightful position as the leader and be a fatherhood to your children and offspring.
Wow. I mean, that's powerful. And me myself, I noticed especially like you talked about the television and what the media also pushes, the effeminization of our
Yeah.
males,
Yeah.
um, what they see in their eye gates. Also, you talked about the
Yes.
emasculation. Now, sometimes that starts in the home
Yes.
because if you have a single mother raising these
Yes.
children, the single mother or mothers in general are taught to be, you've got these
Yes.
sons, you have to do this with them. They don't know how to teach,
Yes.
you really don't know how to teach them how to be a man,
Yes.
or how to, because women are
Yes.
emotional. We're emotional
Yes.
creatures. So you're projecting onto the boys a lot of times this, same thing. Like you said, shut up, be
Yes.
quiet. Oh, you fell. You're all right.
Yes.
Get up. Don't cry. Don't,
Yes.
So how do you deal? Because I've noticed it with my ex-husband. I'll give you an example. He's the youngest of
Oh
12
wow. Wow.
children. And yes, and she was married to the same man. She was married to this man, and she had all of her 12 children by the same
Yeah.
man.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
thank God for that.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
However, it was very toxic. She was
Okay.
abused.
Okay.
They saw that he was rejected because he was the child, I guess the makeup child or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But he rejected him. And
Mm.
what happened was he grew up with all these older
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
sisters, and the mother, and very, just domineering. And I call it Jezebel
Mhm.
like because you're
Mhm.
controlling.
Mhm.
So you have all of these aspects. Um, so doesn't that kind of contribute to the whole uh, boy remaining a boy too, and you're kind of like the woman is kind of, even with women who rescue their sons all the time out of
Mhm.
things, it's like you won't allow them to grow up and be men. I mean, doesn't that have a part to play
Oh
as
my
well?
gosh, you're 100%. You're 100% correct. That's part that what you just said is part of this overall arching theme of socialization. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the avenues. That's an attribute. That's a cousin. Yes, that contributes to where we as males where they are right now when they are raised only by the mother. And first of all, I want to esteem the mother. Thank the Lord. As I say, father and mother, I
Yes.
love you from family, from the offspring.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Thank
sir.
God for the mother. She's the teleport. So
Right.
I applaud them. We need her. We need her. It's
Yes.
just particularly talking about the missing father, the males. When you have that dynamic, as you just said, to me, in my estimation, what I've seen, what I've observed is that a woman can only teach for what she wants from a male. You know, you see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? She can only
Oh,
teach him
wow.
what she's looked for and what a male is supposed to be.
Oh my
And so,
goodness. Oh, that's
you know what I'm
deep.
saying? And so when you
Oh.
don't have that man, a lot of males, we are very visual creatures and we live a lot of vicariously through visual. If you look at males today, and I'm a sports junkie, so if you look at males today, you see us grown men jumping in front of the TV, with sports, Super Bowls and World Series and boxing, and then you see these males out here. They may wear their favorite jersey or favorite sneakers, LeBron James or the late Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. We are
Mm,
very visual and we live vicariously through vision. And so if you don't
mm,
have that father in there getting up every day, going to work, coming home every day, making sure that the grass is cut, making sure that you're doing your chores, making sure that I'm tired, but although I'm tired, we gotta men again do what they have to do. You see me work 12 hours yesterday, son. I came home, I cut the grass, I played with y'all, and now I gotta get up tomorrow morning and go to work. If he doesn't
mm,
see that, all he see is it's okay. You all right. It's okay, baby. It's all right.
mm. Oh my
Okay, you
goodness.
tired? Don't worry. I'll wake you up if the alarm clock doesn't work. I'll make sure you get to school. It's all right. Duh. You
Look
see
at
what I'm
that.
saying?
Oh my goodness. You're bringing so much illumination to my mind right
Praise
now with
God.
what you're
Praise
saying.
God.
Because we don't think about, you really don't, these conversations need to be had. And this is good. I mean, wow.
Thank God.
So that takes us to my next question. Speaking in terms of reaching these missing fathers that are not active in the lives of their children, how do you plan to engage and assist these men to get back in a place of influencing their children and giving them that identity that they seek and need?
That's a great question. I kind of skimmed on your questions that you gave to me yesterday because I brought it, but that's a great question. And one thing I can say, I'm just give you just a little bit. Last
Yes.
year we've seen something in this country and around the planet that we've never seen it before. That to this magnitude, and that's COVID-19. And what happened was it forced everybody to do what? Come inside, right? And when we came inside, we weren't obviously outside. And so after a while, that presented, I'm going to say challenges. I'm going to say the first word to begin with the letter O, obstacles. It gave us obstacles because we were inside. We even had to switch, as in the therapy world, the mental health field, and also in the medical field, we had to switch to what we call telehealth services, where all day I'm on Zoom or I'm on FaceTime, I'm doing therapy. Yeah, I haven't, for a whole year, I haven't been out in the homes like I normally do.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Those were the obstacles. But then obstacles always lead to the second word that begin with the letter O, and that is opportunities. And so when I was faced with this obstacle, it led to an opportunity to say, you know what? Since all the time in retrospective, you had the male that does not like to come to therapy. You had the male that the obstacle for him, because he's been socialized to not to speak and verbalize. And that means he then shut the front door in front of my face. So I decided, let me then go virtual. This obstacle now is giving me the opportunity, instead of coming through the front door, because you're going to close that in my face, I'm going to go through the back door. And the opportunity now was for me to launch this YouTube channel. And I know I'm leaving my information as we move forward in the program.
Oh, yes.
But this YouTube channel to actually now go virtual. What does that obstacle that it subtracts and take that out of the male who happens to be a father? First of all, guess what, Mr. Father? You don't have to come to a place of brick and mortar. So you have to worry about that. Number two, you don't have to worry about being, it's all confidential. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about that. You can look at these videos virtually through the privacy of your home or wherever you are. It's almost like if you're doing anything online. For example, if sometimes, to be honest with you, may have been watching pornographic stuff. So they do that in secrecy. So I'm saying, well, hey, you could do this in secrecy. You can get the therapy in secrecy. And what I'm talking about is your question. Well, my goal and my agenda is to set up virtual groups where males can come and share their thoughts and unlock their foolishness that they've been socialized and taught in earlier development, to understand that it's okay to be vulnerable. And although it may feel unsafe, whenever you do something that is unsafe and you feel uncomfortable, but you still do it, guess what? That is growth. You are growing. Whenever you do something that you feel safe and comfortable, that means you're not growing. So that's my goal, is to get this YouTube channel, get more subscribers as yourself, and you subscribe. Thank you once again. And I refer to you as the Healing Army. And now that I'm asking you, now that you are the part of the Healing Army, what I'm saying to you is that you are now got me on your podcast. You sharing the good information, the healing information, because this is a healing movement. And you've already been a healing agent even before we've met. But we met because it's a divine appointment. That's why. It's a divine appointment. It's not by chance, by divine appointment. Yes. And so now that we're here together, it's all about doing this virtual movement and healing. That's what it's about, healing. So I can get these men through subscribing. The only way they can do this is they subscribe. It's very free. It's absolutely free. And while they get there, I can have a symposium. I can have a platform where I can just, for free, I can just help and give them an opportunity to speak, to be vulnerable, to grow and be men.
Well, man of God, I tell you, you have really blown me away. You've answered so much in the little time that you've had to give it to us. But it's the information is rich, and as you stated, this pandemic of COVID-19 has allowed you to be innovative and reinvent ways to reach out. And I believe it's just awesome, and I know that God is pleased with you. So with that being said, and you know what? Let me say this. You're absolutely right. The healers, we are. I honestly, it is a divine appointment. I mean, I saw your post, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is my heart. This is where I'm at. This is what God is using me to do. To reach out, and kind of we have similar, passions, but I just thank God for you, and I really believe that God will get glorified through this, in so many different ways. But before we close out, how can people get in touch with you if they have questions about services you offer, and anything else you want to put out there?
Okay, thank you so much. So my main thing, I'm only on two social media outlets. One is YouTube and one is LinkedIn. But to get in contact with me, if you were to go on your YouTube app, on your phone or your computer or whatever, you just punch in, my link is GWHY, which is GY, Healing Services LLC. Again, GWHY, which is GY, Healing Services LLC. I also have an email where my email is healing services, the numbers 46 at gmail.com. Again, healing services, the numbers 46 at gmail.com. So if you can't remember all that, if you have your cell phone, this is what I want all the listeners to do. If you have your cell phone, just go to your YouTube app. And when you hit your YouTube app, in the search bar, where the search bar is, you just press in there, where are the missing fathers? Again, where are the missing fathers? You'll see my video pop up. You just click on and subscribe. Please hit a like. And please share your video, share this information on all your social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, I guess it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. And most importantly, hit that notification bell. My videos I post every Monday. Please make some comments. We need you as part of this healing army, this movement. It's about building the kingdom of God. Most importantly, it's about healing, y'all, because we're hurting. A lot of people walking around in pain. I've been doing this for almost 23 years, and the stuff that I've heard, trust me, you don't have issues. Trust me. So I'm just making this call. We need help. In order for me to do this virtual group that I was talking about, the game is YouTube said you got to have a certain amount of subscribers. So I'm just trying to get a certain amount, that number, you know what I mean? So I can go ahead and do this for free. I ain't want nothing. It's about God. And that's all. That, you know what I mean? He's the vine, I'm just the branch, and I'm just bringing good fruit. That's it.
Yes. And guess what? When he supplies that vision, he's going to provide that provision for you. And I just believe that, through your message and through what you're allowing God to do in you and through you, you're definitely going to maximize YouTube. They will be, I believe, able to, what do they call it when you reach that number?
Monetize.
Monetizing.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I believe they will monetize, and you're just going to touch the hearts of people, male and female.
Absolutely.
I mean, we need it. This is outstanding information. I just thank you again for sharing your time, because one thing about life, who you give your time to, it's precious. Your time is precious. So I definitely thank you
Yeah.
for the time. Also, was there anything else you wanted to add before we
Yeah,
wrap up?
I guess the only thing I can say is definitely my pleasure to serve, love. It's my pleasure to serve. I just
Yeah.
love serving others, and I believe all of us are here to be a blessing to each other. And so, this time right now, in this moment, because all we have is the power of now, is that this is a blessing, and it's once again, God is moving, and it's like it's serious right now. People in pain, these males and females are in pain. I hope you checked out my video I posted today. I don't know, but if you didn't, please check it out. This was a deep one.
Yes, yes. I got caught up, and so really, I wasn't able to do it. But once I
Yeah,
wrap up and do my
yeah.
editing and everything, I'm going to make sure because I love it. I mean, I enjoyed the one
Awesome.
yesterday, so I'm going to definitely get
Awesome.
into it. And everyone else, you got to check him out, Mr.
Yes.
Guy Powell. He's giving you his contact
Yes.
information. Um, and I do believe that he has what you need. Check out the videos on YouTube. Again, sir, I
Thank
again
you.
thank you. I really appreciate you. We have to do
Please.
this again. And hopefully, next time we do it, I hope to have a couple other people join in the
Please.
conversation just to add to
Please.
it.
Please.
And also, everyone, if you need to get in contact with me as well, you know that I am on Facebook at Latasha N. Harrison, also at A Voice Called to Heal the Broken. You can also reach me at latashaharrison.business.site for any questions related to this conversation or any other conversation. And once again, we thank you all for joining us on Say What You Feel for Real, the deep experience. And we will meet again here very soon. So, everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thanks again for joining. And, Guy, thanks again
Yes,
for being
absolutely.
a
It's my
part.
pleasure to serve. Take care.
Take care.
Okay.
You